white shirts are back.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to NXTT's Wednesday live announcement, which is on Thursday today.
The white shirts are back.
White shirts are back.
I just so wanted to say this. Did you miss us?
Yes, there will be many things we will be covering. First, I muted one of my laptops that's in front of me. Secondly, I had a around 5.5 or 6 hour long discussion with a gentleman, a very experienced tech entrepreneur, who was introduced to me by David, because actually this gentleman is his mentor, and he is here in Budapest right now, and I had the chance to talk with him and have a discussion, and it was just amazing. I think I feel refreshed, and I have a totally new vision of life and everything, and I now believe in true tier 1 possibilities for everything that's around us. So it was very good. But in the meanwhile, I didn't really have the time to figure out our agenda. So I'm not going to say an agenda. I'm going to let David introduce his part of the agenda. And in the meanwhile, I'm just going to catch up in what are the important points that we want to cover today, also from my part in NXTT, with text listing, with the airdrop, the burning. I've seen plenty of people.
Yeah, a lot of questions about that as well. Yeah,
we are also gonna have a look at some questions. So we also want the technical part, please, of the chat, so we can see it in the monitor here, stuff like that. But I'm going to just hand over the word to David, and then he can jump into 2 of the topics that, well, it was very much waited for. So
yeah, exactly.
Give the word to you.
All right, thanks. So before I jump right into that, I must say I'm sorry in advance. I had the flu for probably about 5 or 6 days, and
it looks like we're instantly sick. But we've never been sick before since we know each other.
Exactly.
But these weeks are just it's the end of Hungarian winter. That's why we usually travel abroad. But now crypto took our private life.
But anyway, I might end up in a coughing fit, and if that happens, I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
That way, please.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so. Obviously, the thing that everybody has been waiting for is about staking. And if you remember us, I told you a number of times that we're going to run the numbers, make sure that the numbers make sense. And when we're done with that, we can start talking about staking. So we've run the numbers. We've ended the discovery phase of staking, and now we're going to go into development. So now I can finally talk to you about how staking is going to work. So that's topic number 1. Topic number 2, I've been looking at the questions that we've been getting on the Discord for the last couple of weeks and months, and there are a lot of things that keep resurfacing about how we're going to improve the map, how we're going to improve how lands are utilized. Do lands still have value? What is the value of lands? And also there is another group of questions that come about the platform as a service thing, because a lot of people just accepted that it's a fancy thing to say, but I don't think that many of you guys have actually realized the depth of that. So the second topic of that is I'm going to talk about how exactly the platform as a service model works, and why is that going to be a complete game changer for not just us, not just the metaverse, but for the entire Web3 community. So these are my 2 main topics that I want to discuss. Do you want to add anything, or should I just jump right into it?
Jump into it.
Okay.
I found a good list. I will
Perfect.
be able to talk, but actually, sorry. Yes, so actually what I really want to get involved is the platform as a service part, because I have so many ideas regarding that and sayings, because we've been talking a lot about that concept. So we'll see how much time we're going to have left at the end.
And I also want to say that this is something that we've been talking about. We do have a lot of sort of internal sessions where we have ideas, we're brainstorming, a lot of back and forth between the team, and I actually think that apart from these live announcements that we're doing, we should start recording those sessions actually.
Which means that there will be cameramen amongst us while we are working and having these different type of meetings and discussions, and there will be materials, contents put together from these talks about different topics,
Yeah.
and you will get more of an insight, and we can get the weight of these type of live announcements. So it's not just David and Gabor or Jan and Federico or all the others that are going to come, because many other of the team members are going to be introduced, even advisors or even Launchpad product owners who are going to talk about it. But we don't want, and I already wrote that in, I think 2 days ago or on Monday morning on the Discord announcement, that I don't want announcements to be like kind of an expectation from us, an expectation of pumping and these kind of things. We just want you guys to get in touch with the project, to get more in depth, to know more information about it. Obviously, Jan last time said that we're going to change the website too, so that the information is more up to date. But getting these integral insider, and in a good meaning insider information of cameras and talks and discussions, and show it to the public continuously. I don't know if it's daily basis or every second day or just comes up ad hoc when we have some interesting content. But these will be very important to get the weight of the announcements, and you can continuously get video material and see the other team members and see the different type of discussions, meetings.
It's all about transparency.
Insights. It's about insight into the business.
Before we move on, there are two things I want to say. One is I'm just looking at our tech guy and ask, do we need some time to set anything up? Because there are a lot of comments that the video is freezing a lot of times. So do we need to take maybe a minute to get that sorted, or is that sorted now?
It's glitching. Sometimes it freezes randomly.
Okay, it's probably our internet connectivity. We do have some issues with our internet today in the office.
Actually, I had an interview yesterday, and they said that our internet wasn't really fine.
Yeah, they're coming in tomorrow to fix the internet. So if the video is glitching, that's due to our internet service provider.
Free new generation Web3 metaverse and our internet.
You just shut down the internet and then we're fine. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing is that what Gabor was talking about, like the insights and the transparency bit, and I also want to emphasize something that's been bugging me for a while, and that is that do you guys know how long it has been since we launched the token? It's been 7 weeks. It's not even 2 months. So please just think about that. Please just think about that. When you start thinking about how quickly we can build stuff, just think about the actual amount of work that we put into launching the token. That was more than 6 months.
Oh my God.
So we cannot make groundbreaking announcements every single week. That's why we need to start moving away from saying, if there is a new announcement, a new live check-in, then we're going to announce something breakthrough stuff. It's not going to happen, right?
Actually, in the next week, it is going to be like that, but it's not a promise.
I tried to prime the people before I start talking about staking and pass, but thank you. Anyway, let's talk about staking.
You're welcome.
As I said, the discovery phase of staking has ended. Now we're going into development. And I'm just going to start off with this. The first month, according to our plans, and I'm really hoping that the moment I step out of this room, the IT department will not cut my balls and my head off simultaneously for saying that. But I'm saying that anyway, because I want to make that promise to you guys that the first month when you will be able to stake is going to be June this year. Why June? Q2. Why June? Because now we know what we need to build. We need to sit down and start building it. And because we're talking about staking, basically revenue generating activity for you guys, we cannot make any mistakes. So we need this amount of time to actually develop the feature correctly. But this is how staking is gonna work. As we said in the white paper, land will generate units. Super simple. We try to make it as simple as possible. Every single tile on Next Earth will be generating 1 unit per month. 1 unit per month per tile. That's the unit generation ability of your land. So if you have 1,000 tiles owned as land, you will get 1,000 units generated per month. Did you want to say something?
Pack owners.
Oh yeah, as we said in the white paper, if you have untouched packs, you're also going to get a 1.2x multiplier on that unit generation. That's just it. You're welcome. Also, there's going to be skins at some point that are coming, and skins are going to be providing these reward multipliers, which is going to be affecting the actual number of units that are being generated per tile. But again, the baseline is 1 unit per tile per month. Now, from June 2022, you will be able to buy a staking wallet from your units, where you will be able to stake a specific amount of NXTT for 30 days. You will be able to choose from 5 levels of staking wallets. Smaller wallets, larger wallets. Larger wallets will cost you more units than smaller wallets. If you want to achieve a higher monthly APR, a higher return on that monthly staking, you will probably want to get like a larger staking wallet that costs you more units. The monthly APR is variable, and it is based on the size of the decentralized reward pool. We told you guys in the beginning that the way we design it is that it's going to be fully autonomous. So it's going to be algorithmic, and every month you will get the indicators of what kind of monthly APR you can get in that month from the staking wallet that you're buying. There's also going to be a finite amount of staking wallets every single month that we will issue on a first-come, first-served basis. And this is, again, going to be calculated by the algorithm, and that is to make sure that, you know, the monthly APR doesn't get, like, infinitesimally small if lots of people want to stake. But as the decentralized reward pool size grows, this will basically catch up with the total community, and it will pretty nicely even out based on our simulations. Let's take a look at what else do we have here. So the maximum amount of NXTT that you can stake will also be determined by the number of ties you have. So there's a relationship between the amount of land you have and the amount of NXTT you can stake. And we're going to publish a blog post that actually contains all the specific numbers, and it describes how exactly this whole process will work in a lot more detail than what I'm just talking about. And then you will be able to understand how this is going to work. We're also going to publish a staking calculator on the website within the next few weeks, where you can play around and take a look at, if I own these many ties, if I own this many NXTT, and this is the reward pool size, like what kind of APR I can get, when can I buy a staking wallet, and how can I buy a staking wallet. But the logic is here. You have a specific amount of land. Let's say you have 1,000 ties. Your 1,000 ties will be generating 1,000 units every single month. And then we're looking at, let's say, 2,000 units is the price for a staking wallet. That means that every second month you're going to be able to buy a staking wallet and then put your NXTT on it. Depending on the ties you have, you will have a maximum cap to the NXTT that you can actually stake in that wallet. You stake it for 30 days and you get the APR that's designated to that specific wallet after 30 days. End of story. Every single month we will publish the APRs, we will publish the size of the decentralized reward pool, we will publish everything, every decision that was made by the algorithm, so you guys have full transparency and you guys see how things are growing and how things are moving forward.
We will also see where the income is coming from into the stake reward pool. So you can see
full
what
transparency.
is the added value of different launchpad projects, of the first land sales, of the marketplace itself, of different activities. And then we can see and we can together discuss and maybe come up with ideas, brainstorm on what type of projects to involve, what to keep in focus and what to grow and concentrate.
Yeah, the goal is to keep the decentralized reward pool growing, because that's
the income.
That's the engine for the equitable metaverse that we're creating. That's the crux of the entire ecosystem that we've designed. But we do recognize that we're in building mode right now. We're talking with a lot of partners. We've been talking about a lot of new projects that we're trying to launch, and we will launch on the platform. So right now it's all coming together, which means that the size of the decentralized reward pool is right now, it's not that convincing. So we decided to do something crazy.
We decided to put
$1 million worth of NXTT into the decentralized reward pool as a gift to you guys.
Yep, right away.
Yeah,
so
right away.
We have a stable foundation on which we can build, and we are not under pressure of competing any type of extra income, because we want the stake reward pool to be big enough.
Yeah.
But we already filled it so that we don't have that extra type of pressure, and we can focus on truly what is good for the long term for the businesses.
Exactly. So we just did that.
Yep, $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million.
$1 million.
That's crazy to talk about this kind of amounts, right?
Yeah,
But
we just,
I just really
we just made a transfer of $1 million worth of tokens to you guys.
Crazy.
So by the time you're going to be able to stake on Next Earth, at minimum, you're going to have $1 million worth of NXTT in the decentralized reward pool. That's going to be the baseline for staking. Now, a lot of questions are coming in the meantime. I'm just looking at one eye on the YouTube questions.
See it because I cannot see it on there.
Yeah, I have it in front of my laptop, and a lot of questions that I'm saying about. Yeah, but what else can I do with my unit? Let me tell you, Mister. Let me talk to you a bit about platform as a service and how it will work, because you won't just be able to use your units for staking wallets. I wanted to explain how this works in practice, okay? We will, as we said, platform as a service means that we will have a series of APIs so developers can access information on land on Next Earth. But land right now only has pretty simplistic information, right? It only has like, is it a water tile? Is it an urban tile? Is it a non-urban tile? Or is it land art? Is it not land art? That's kind of it, right? So a couple weeks ago, we started working on introducing dozens of more attributes to land, like elevation, biome, minerals, resources. What's the climate of that specific land? Is it a forest? Is it a desert? Is it a, I don't know, rock desert? Is it a lake? Is it an ocean? If it's an ocean, does it have any trash on it? Those kinds of things. We're currently in discovery mode, okay? But I wanted to clarify what we mean by this, because the first thing is, once we introduce these dozens and dozens of attributes, resources, minerals onto land, then here's what happens. When a developer wants to build an app on Next Earth, they will have to use some of these statistics. They will have to use some of these resources. If they want to connect to the Next Earth metaverse, they will need to connect through land. So let me give you an example, just an idea. For example, let's say a crypto mining company can easily use mines, and let's say if they even have tokens, then the tokens could be backing up the value of those resources on Next Earth. Maybe the resources that are in those mines. So let's say there are Next Earth gold that can be bagged by a crypto mining company. So you can actually mine your gold as a Next Earth landowner if you happen to have a gold mine. But actually what's going to happen is that there's going to be a business out there that is actually going to be backing that value up by some real world economic activity. Think of this, and this is actually probably one of the sickest explanation that I've had. Think of it like a real world-sized economic game of civilization, but with every single mineral, resource, land statistic having a real economic activity providing value to it. This means that there will be businesses from the primary sector working with resources on land, but it will be also industry manipulating those resources and services, just like in the real world. And enabling this transition is how we're migrating the real economy into the metaverse. Because we love to talk about play-to-earn games, right? But
it is the soil for endless possibility for endless type of play to earn game.
No, well, what we're actually doing is we're actually turning,
work to earn. Or
we're
anything.
actually transforming the real economy into a gigantic fucking play to earn game. And that's how you migrate real economy to the metaverse. And in a very practical way, it's really simple. If you're a developer and if you want to provide a service on in the metaverse, you have two options. You have actually one option. Figure out how you can connect it to our land statistics, and we give you the API for it, and we're going to do it together. It's that simple. We provide the interface. And if you remember Gabor's sentences a couple weeks ago about an open development environment to onboard businesses into the metaverse, this is it. And I'm really hoping this cleared a couple of things up, because when we started talking about this, I was like, I don't think that people get what platform as a service actually means. So why don't we start giving them a couple examples? Because, you know, there is this eagerness in us to start talking in more concrete terms, but it's been 7 weeks since we ended the token sale, and there's just not enough time for us to build everything. Like, it takes us a year, it takes us 2 years. We're literally changing the way the internet and the digital economy works. It's not going to happen overnight. So we need to start talking in terms of specific examples. So I'm really, really hoping that this clears it up. But I'm just going to look at the questions while Gabor is going to say his pieces and see what those questions are.
Definitely something truly amazing. Definitely something positive for the community. And definitely something that is worse for the IT than the staking you just said. They are not gonna love it.
Yeah, sorry guys, but
we have to figure out how to build that database. But I think even DAO could be somehow being kind of interacted into this part. That would be amazing.
We do have a couple ideas already with the product team about how we can make that happen, and some might actually come from developing the databases. Some might actually happen from basically creating a work to earn game.
That database, by the way, could be such a heavy intrinsic value.
Oh, absolutely.
Even for future metaverses.
Oh, absolutely. This is literally like let's map out the Earth.
Yep.
Again.
Google Map 2.0.
Yeah.
Somebody even wrote that down once somewhere. I remember reading that. It just came to my mind.
Guys,
one thing for sure is that there is a good paradigm shift in our announcements. And this is the example of how it's going to look on longer term, that I'm going to talk about some bullshit that doesn't really interest anybody, but it's part of the vision. And then David's going to deliver. And he's going to talk for 65-70% of the time. And everybody will be happy, and we'll be just kind of trying to grab on the whole spine of it and try to understand it, just like I do. And then he can even deliver even more operative sides that I didn't even know that exists, because it's just so complicated, so many things happening around that is just insanely hard to oversee everything. And now I was able to delegate this job to David.
And then I got sick.
And then he got sick, so we basically wasted a week, but don't mind that. I'm definitely happy that this shift is ongoing, because that means that from visionary point of view and just talking about what we want to achieve, we are slowly moving towards to that what we are achieving and what we are building, and the exact numbers and the precise numbers, and as soon as possible also the materialization of those things being developed and being launched. So I'm just enjoying this shift.
This ride.
Okay. You found any questions, or
yes.
Can I just talk about? Well, before you want to answer those questions first?
Yeah.
They're important.
Yes, they are. They are. There is one question that was really important. People started saying that this seems like there is a lot of utility for units moving forward, but what about NXTT? Pretty good question, and let me answer you.
And I want to add some things to that too. So
yeah, you will. But I'm just going to give you the good old dry economic response, as you probably are used to it by now. Think of it this way. in any economy, in a country, the government usually has two different kinds of toolboxes that they can use in order to move the economy forward. There is monetary policy and there is fiscal policy, right? Fiscal policy moves the real economy and monetary policy manipulates how the money flow happens. Now, UNIT is a fiscal tool. NXTT is a monetary tool, right? So what happens is that within the Next Earth economy, payments into the platform fee payments into the decentralized reward pool happen through NXTT. All the payments that are going to happen throughout the Next Earth economy are going to happen in NXTT. It's going to be the currency of the Next Earth metaverse. UNIT, on the other hand, is the fiscal tool that can motivate new businesses where we come in and then they start manipulating those resources, and we can start attaching units to those. So when your land is generating units, you can either use that to manipulate the resources or use that to buy a staking wallet or use that to buy more land. You're actually using a fiscal tool within the economy to move things forward, because staking moves the economy forward, manipulating those resources moves the economy forward. It creates some velocity for goods within the economy. But also, if you just keep buying more land because you want more units, because you want to buy higher tier staking wallets, that also moves the economy forward. So UNIT is a fiscal tool, NXTT is a monetary tool. And I really just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people were asking about that.
And back to NXTT, that NXTT's utility will not just be simply to use them for staking, but we try to give some intrinsic value based on when you have purchased and how much you purchased. So basically, it's just kind of like a tier level we had at the pre-sale and then what we expect to have at the launchpad too. We want to have that integrated into land ownership and into NXTT ownership too. That means that NXTT will be behaving like an NFT in a way that, given circumstances, will give given utility to those tokens that are owned by a given wallet. I hope that is understandable. In Hungarian, I would be able to do that normally. But the point is, the older NXTTs you have, for the longer time you have the NXTTs, and the more NXTTs you have, the more eligible you will be for stake reward multiplication, for launchpad tiers, for all of the launchpad projects will have different type of utilities or accessible features that are only accessible for those people who reach this level. So it's kind of very important for you guys. I mean, those guys listening right now, those are like really like freaking early people in this project.
Yeah.
Like still very early. I know everybody's expecting 10 billion, 20 billion, top 10 project, whatever, metaverse, VR and everything. Guys, we're on track. It's gonna happen. Everything is gonna happen. We're gonna bring everything together. It's just amazing. Crypto is just amazing. No promise.
No
but
promise.
Crypto is just amazing. But we have to build this in time. But this time is not just your enemy. If you have patience, if you realize the position you are in and the knowledge that you have compared to those who are going to come in 6 months from now, 1.5 years from now, or 5 years from now, then you will just think back at these moments and realize, oh my God, they were talking about this. Why didn't I realize this? Why didn't I did these decisions? Why didn't I think about it differently? And right now we have a past that's long enough, so those people who have purchased packs at the beginning, who were at the pre-sale, they are understanding this right now.
Yeah.
They know. I mean, one of these days I read on the Discord main discussion. By the way, I'm on Discord, but I can simply not communicate, guys. It's just endless time, but I'm still kind of trying to follow what's going on in the community, and not just in reports, but also reading the stuff.
It's a lot.
And I read that the early rush, when there were tier 1 locations still free on Next Earth, those were legendary times. Guys, that was 6 months ago.
And just
And
imagine.
it was called legendary times, right? 6 months from now, this is going to be called legendary times.
Mythical.
Before the centralized exchange, before the staking. I mean, come on, we are so early.
Yeah.
Try
And the thing is, like,
enjoying it.
6
Really,
months
try
have
enjoying
passed.
it.
6 months have passed since the original initial launch and the announcement that we're actually adding resources, adding different attributes to land that will, I'm pretty sure it will create a whole bunch of new tier 1 locations for people.
And I have 2 other concepts that's going to create much more tier 1 locations. But
6 months
that
have
is
passed
something I'm not
between
going to
these two.
touch right now. But yes, it is going to be just insane.
Yeah.
But every time I use the phrase, it is going to be insane, I do this because I see many information based on that, it is truly going to be insane. But honestly, it is already freaking insane. I mean, look at the numbers, look at everything, look at the community, look at what we are talking about. Look at the metaverse itself. Look at how hype the whole thing is. And right now, honestly, this relatively winter market, if you can call it, $40,000 Bitcoin is a winter market, which shows where we are right now.
It's just a cold breeze.
A cold breeze, but but this is just perfect for us because we can do the work. We can do it normally.
Yeah, this is building
you can call
time.
crypto normal. But
I'm actually pretty grateful. I've been in crypto since 2016. And one thing that I've realized pretty early on is that a bear market, when there is no such hype around crypto like what we had last year, is the perfect time to build real products. Because there is no distractions. You can get down and start building. And that is exactly what we're doing right now. And we've had the fortunate situation to launch the project early on and basically create us a foundation, a baseline that allows us to keep building, keep focusing on you guys, not being reliant on the market, not being reliant on anybody else, not being reliant on outside investors. The only people that we are accountable to are you. Period.
But this also had kind of a negative impact on one of my meetings with a tier 1 centralized exchange. They I'm going to read this up, okay? Because this is something that there is no mirror behind me, okay? Cool. Which one is this? Okay, so basically, centralized exchange. May I know, is there any progress being made so far, since the market is going down and you are going up? This was questioned, and they need some more due diligence to look at the project because they just didn't believe that while every project, a metaverse project, was going down, NXTT was going up. So that's just insane. I mean, you can see that the perception of a tier 1 exchange is like this to the project. I mean, you guys should be pretty much satisfied with what is going on. And I know everybody's waiting for everything to happen right away, and it is going to happen fast. And by the way, it is going pretty fast. And back to the original point, respect these moments and not just enjoy it, but and this is not that type of profit that the lawyer told us that never say profit, but profit from your extra information that you're in time. That's my main point. And to not just talk about this and not just have the time advantage of being early, but also that is what we are working on giving extra utility to all of those who have been involved in the early stages, and not just with the packs, but with the lands, with the tokens, and everything. And this is doable in crypto. And this is amazing because in the mainstream business, you are simply not capable of doing this appreciation towards the people. And I know we've been talking a lot, and we're going to talk a lot too. But believe me, if you're not thinking on a daily basis, or if you're not expecting everything to just turn around on a weekly basis, although the 2 topics you mentioned are insane today, especially with 1 million in the stake reward pool right away again. But but a month or 2 or 3 months, or if you just look at quarters, it's just amazing how much shift is going on between quarters. And this is how you should be monitoring a project if you're in this for the long term.
Yeah.
I have bad news. If you're in this for the short term, we are not working for you guys. We are working for the ones who've been here and who want to be here, even though they just arrived 2 minutes ago to this live stream. But not the short pump and dumpers. No, that's just not fundamental. That's just not long term. And that is just not good for the whole community.
It just doesn't help our vision.
Yep.
Our vision to actually create a metaverse that's fair, that's equitable, and is capable of taking on the big giants that are also trying to do the same thing, but in a centralized way.
And honestly, I think even though that we are going with relatively small steps, but I still think it's quite fast, I can see how it's evolving on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And the things we are talking about, I know it's still like everybody was expecting or everybody would love to have staking from tomorrow, obviously.
Obviously.
But being able to talk about it, seeing the numbers, the platform as a service, of course everybody is waiting. And believe us, guys, if you are waiting for something, that's exponentially true for us, like 10 times or 100 times more, because, it's just creation and people love creating, and this is amazing to create. And we are waiting very much to have that, those VR solutions or the businesses or the platform itself that getting integrated with the different projects.
Yeah.
Those 50 plus projects entering, obviously that 50 projects won't even be able to enter this year because it's just physically unimaginable to do that. But today I wanted to talk about one of the Launchpad projects, the first one.
No, you can't.
And actually this guy next to me here, he was the person who kind of banned me from it.
Yeah, I banned you.
You
I am taking full responsibility for it. Yeah. So I actually want to give you some context on that. I want to make sure that when we start announcing the Launchpad projects, we are actually introducing Launchpad projects onto a super rock solid, a diamond solid foundation, where Next Earth is at a stage in their progress, in their development, that we can confidently say, now it's time to start.
Let me interrupt. David is the real bad cop in this, because in my opinion, we already have 3 of these projects that could be easily announceable.
I know.
Okay, and I'm gonna be the person pushing him to kind of let it get announced.
Okay,
but he wants to have everything written down already, so that we're not just talking about, but it can be introduced, and we want to solve it on the screen. You will be able to see small David and small Gabor here, and then see the project that we are talking about and stuff like that.
So here's the thing. One of my concerns that I will fight tooth and nail to avoid doing is over-promising and under-delivering.
Yeah, that's my hobby, basically. That's my hobby, because I'm a visionist, and that's why I love to talk about the visions. But we are not going to do it in announcements, but I'm gonna tell the cameraman when we talk about in the meetings to give some of my visions into these contents, video contents.
Yeah. So yeah, the Launchpad projects are coming. They are in development. I'm pretty eager to already talk about them, but I don't want to do it prematurely, because that can hurt everybody, you, us, everybody. So I would rather focus us on platform as a service, resources, on the APIs for platform as a service, on staking, and just making sure that the entire platform is working properly. Then start bringing in a new project, and God knows how that's gonna work. I've been working with those projects for a couple of months now. I know them personally. I know how amazing they are. But trust me on this. There's a right moment and there is a bad moment to introduce them. And when the right moment comes, you'll be the first to know in an announcement. I can promise you that.
Okay.
It's soon. We're talking about a couple of weeks.
I just had to say it.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, so we talked about the staking, we talked about the PAS, We talked about some of the depths on the timing and some utility of the token and the land. Actually, you just made me think about introducing one of the strategic partnerships regarding the carbon footprint thing to next week, because we're gonna meet with the guys tonight.
Oh yeah.
Next to some little whiskey, so we can finalize the details and then come out to next week with the announcement. I'm pretty sure that can happen. It's not even a promise. That's gonna just happen.
Yeah.
And that's all. And we're gonna go forward with that part too, the free and carbon neutral Web3. I think that's a very important part of it. I know
it is very important.
For the token price and not affecting.
It's an important thing. It's not a. It's not a fancy thing. It's an important thing.
Narrative and. From your perspective, marketing, PR, etc., is gonna happen. This is our first live since the black shirts were on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to say a few things about that. I did that in my announcement, but it's very, very important that we watched. At least I watched. I hope you watched Jan's and Rico's stuff live too. So I love the guys. They are young. They are energetic. This is what crypto needs. We worked together in the past months with high-level, state-of-the-art, multinational marketing company guys. And I'm sorry to say that, but they were shit.
Well, we burned them alive in like
we burned them alive. And these guys are going to be perfect because they are just like us when we were at the beginning of this project. And I think that what we have built already and what is going on in the background, they will be easily handling it. And actually, they came up with more new ideas than I personally did, although I have some pretty heavy sales and marketing background. And the new website, they are not presenters yet. That's right. They are young. They talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to give them training.
We're going to give them training. But the new website is so much more essential than they just touched it in like 3 sentences, or the community didn't really exactly reacted to that website. I mean, I read something like, okay, so there will be a new website. What? That new website is going to basically paradigm shift the conversion rates, the traffic, the marketing possibilities, the funnels, everything. It's like basically the spine of everything we do. If you go into nexters.io, I mean, you tell your friends and they jump on it and they say, okay, that's a map of the earth and we can buy land and every land is bought already. So what? This has to be changed. We already know the solution to every one of these problems. The guys are going to take it through. Because actually they were the ones pointing out the most essential ones. So believe us when we say that you are gonna like these guys better than us in 2, maximum 3 months. Because they are going to be the direct touch, the integrational point between the project and the community. And obviously marketing is gonna come with this. And that's why they said that marketing is going to be community heavy. You guys are going to be involved way more than what you expect right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, the guys are going to be amazing. We talked about maybe doing switches like every second week. They are coming or we are coming. Also, we are doing the inside camera stuff. So we try to, kind of bring some new thing because if we come here for the 15th time, even though we're going to come here with cool news and fundamentals and features and everything and applications, it's going to be cool. But, we also want to, in every single part, we want to.
Sorry, we gotta build. No, that's true. So right now we have like a full communications team that's working on what's the best structure for us to provide content to you guys, including these live streams, including other types of videos, other types of content. So thank you.
And having an other studio. Where it is not like
where we're not going to get boiled alive,
and it's not a sauna.
Yeah. Okay. So let me summarize at this point, because there's a lot of questions about the specifics of staking. So I told you that 1 unit per tile per month. you can start buying staking wallets
Thanks.
at the end of every month from June. Well, in every month from June 2022, when you will be first able to stake. There are 5 tiers of staking wallets. The higher tier, the more unit it costs to buy the staking wallet, and the higher tier means higher monthly APR. And regarding the actual specifics on how that works, we're going to publish a blog post with specific numbers, specific wallet prices, how the algorithm works, how the decentralized reward pool will determine this and that, how we will determine the maximum amount of NXTTs that you can stake within your wallet, which is going to be based on the number of land ties you own, etc., etc. So you will get all the specifics from the upcoming blog post. But if that's not enough, you're actually going to get a staking calculator on our website within the next couple of weeks. So you can actually just play around and try it out for yourself. So there's that. The second thing is we're working on introducing a lot more statistics, attributes, resources, minerals onto our lands. All 5 trillion land ties on Next Earth will have a lot more attributes like elevation, climate, biome, minerals, resources. Does it have gold? How many gold does it have? Does it have cobalt, coal, nickel, whatever? How many of those does it have? And then through our platform as a service infrastructure, people will be able to connect to our lands through APIs and actually manipulate those resources that are on the land. And that's how we will onboard businesses. So like a crypto mining company can actually back through their tokens, they can back the gold on the Next Earth land. So gold will actually have like a real economic value, creating literally the largest game of economy in the history of humanity.
Can I add that real estate is going to be crazy from this perspective?
Oh, absolutely. Real estate is going to go nuts.
We have plenty of connecting points with that. It's just going to be crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then also on the Launchpad thing, I am taking responsibility for not talking about Launchpad projects today. I know it's a bummer. It's going to come. Please don't forget, whatever we promise that we're going to deliver before the end of this quarter, it's going to happen. So it's not like I'm pushing them back by a lot. We still have 2 weeks from March.
Oh yeah, March 30th is Wednesday. So you're lucky with that.
So I guess you can expect like what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But it needs to be done right. And I will never let anything move forward if it's not ready to move forward, because given the responsibility that we have here with the development team, if we give you guys half-ass, half-baked solutions, I think that's worse. That's the worst thing that we can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's crypto. You cannot change the code moving backwards.
My 2 cents is only that I would like the community to value this point in space and time, that they are already here in this project. And please realize and just think about it from 1 year from now or 3 or 5 years from now. Remember back to this moment, like how early it was. And I know expectations are full, and believe us, if you're expecting something, we are expecting 10 times more from ourselves. But try enjoying it and realize the real value that you're already joining this project or being in from the beginning. But if you're joined just yesterday, from 3 years from now, you can still say, even a year from now or half a year from now, you can still say that you're in this from the very, very beginning, before the old website was changed.
Also, the other thing is, I think probably about 300 people asked about the centralized exchange listing.
The centralized exchange listing, no news yet regarding that, because that will again be only announced when we are when we have signed documents. Until then, no way we're gonna say anything, because otherwise, if crypto companies, honestly, crypto guys are nice, but crypto companies are not the easiest to deal with and communicate with and stuff like that, because everybody is usually overwhelmed. So I don't want to promise anything that we cannot keep. So simply, I'm just not talking about the centralized exchange listing. If it's not gonna happen in March, well, it's physically not gonna happen in March. That's all. If somebody is out of the project because we had 2 weeks of latency with the centralized exchange listing and doesn't acknowledge that the value and the possibility that they have 2 more weeks to purchase before the centralized exchange, then I'm sorry for you guys. But that's why I told you, enjoy that you're here and set your expectations to weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and then see what's happening and help with ideas, with marketing, with the guys. Get your info, what you can help with, how you can integrate into the project, what possibilities you have. There are plenty of possibilities for every community members, from content producing to having your own teams, to having your own communities. We see plenty of these solutions with NFT makers, with land artists, etc., etc. Obviously, we're going to be focusing much more when we are structured normally, but building a company is way much complicated than just building simply a project. And what we are doing in the background is also building company, and honestly, not just one, but multiple companies and projects. So later on that. One thing I also thought that I'm going to talk about the airdrop, the burn, whenever it's going to happen, but we just simply don't have the time because we're almost in 1 hour now. So we are not going to repeat all of these every single time.
Yeah.
But I'm asking marketing and PR to kind of label the different videos of the bullet points. I haven't seen it how it's in YouTube, but probably we have the bullet points or timestamping and stuff like that should be done. Because then, just watch the previous video that we were talking about, and I said the exact numbers like minimum 3 times in that video. So you can find that. So do your own due diligence, because the more time passes, the more information will be in the project, and you will simply not be able to ask this, but you will need to watch the videos, read the white paper, and just get the information as effectively as possible. Obviously, we're going to help a lot in that with the new website, for instance. Yeah. Okay.
Cool, guys.
That's for me.
It was good to get back in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
for the Launchpad project, finally.
For the Launchpad project, finally.
For the Launchpad, for the second, for the third, for the fifth. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for... no real questions want to be asked. Like, we can go maybe on Discord and chit chat and stuff like that, or
yeah, we've answered most of the questions. So
I think we're in the 1 hour timeline. It's enough. It's like freaking hot in here. So
it is
just
hot.
Faint. Yeah. Thanks very much for joining us, and David and Gabor out.
Bye. See you guys soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.